Okay guys, this is Miss Gilbreth, and today I'm going to be trying to show you guys how to do Illustrator and maybe the way you guys can understand it. We've watched videos before, but it seems to be that a lot of students just really aren't comprehending it. So hopefully if I give you a step-by-step process, then you can kind of hopefully do it for yourself. So right now we are working on our Hero's Journey project, which means we have to be able to go and find coloring pages and get them ready and make them look cute and pretty and have all of the stuff that they're supposed to have on them is the main point. So to get going with that, first you have to go, let's see, you can either go here to your Finder and click on Applications, and then click on the Adobe Illustrator, or you can also go onto your Launchpad and then click on Adobe Illustrator. And that's the way I'm going to do it today. So it's pretty slow to open at first, but hopefully it gets open here in just a second. And there we go. As you can see, it kind of has to update and get initialized first. So when Adobe first opens for Adobe Illustrator, it's going to have this line, and then it's going to have this line, but it's not going to look like your normal project. So what you need is to do File, New. And when you do that, this is your name. You always want to have it, for instance, let's say I'm 1B. And then Miss Gilbreth. So you would have your class period, and then your name, and then dash. And let's say I'm doing the cover page. So that way I know exactly what I'm grading whenever I see it come across my desk. So usually for y'all, I have y'all set your width to 600 and your height to 800. That's because it's basically the same size as a piece of paper. So then you know you don't accidentally go over whenever you're trying to print it, and it's also not too small. So then you click OK. And then in order to place a picture, you do not want to drag on to your artboard here. And this is the artboard. You want to be able to go over here and do File, Place. And so for me, I've been doing a lot of the Harry Potter stuff, but then I also brought up some Lion King, so we can kind of see what that looks like. Let's see. See here, I can see a preview. Trying to see if there's any of these ones that I would actually want to use as a cover. So I might use this one. It's kind of got some open space here where I can type, anything like that. That's kind of nice. So I'll click on that, and then I click Place. See here, it's too tiny, okay? What's going to happen is if I try to size it, it could end up being grainy. But luckily with this one, it doesn't seem to be the case, which is good. So right now I'm also leaving a little bit of space here because I do not want to have the picture take up the whole space. And that's because I want to be able to type down here and make it look nice. And then I'm not trying to go over my picture. So then you want to go Object. And then you want to go down here to Live Trace and Make. And you see all my detail kind of went away. You need it. So here you have to do Window and then Image Trace. And see right now it only shows me my threshold. So I have to click right here on Advanced. And now I can see everything. I always drag the noise down. And the reason for that being it kind of takes out a lot of the unnecessary stuff going on there, and it actually brings in some of the detail. I always drag my corners up because, as you can see, it's starting to create more defined lines. And then I also bring up my pass because I want to try to make sure that I have as many exact lines as possible. This may be an issue here in a minute because it's weird. It doesn't all, kind of go straight through the page, but we will see. And then my threshold, when I bring that up, that's what makes lines dark. It also helps connect them, so that way, like say here, that can make it where that whole body is the one color, and I can't control that. Or back here, because these aren't all connected, then this might all end up being one color, even if I wanted it to be different colors. But right now it's okay. So say if I'm done here, awesome. I go over here to Object, back down to Image Trace, and then this time I click Expand. That's going to turn everything blue. You got all these lovely blue dots. So then I have to think about, okay, what colors do I want? Here's some colors, but they're pretty limited. So I want to go over here to our little drop-down menu. And then I want to go to Open Swatch Library. Now they have one here for coloring books. And you can pick any of these ones that you want here. So let's see which one of these might actually look pretty good. Let's see. That one, as you can see, has a pretty good amount of colors to it. So we'll keep that one. But I also want some kind of skin tone, which if you're doing any kind of a character that's not an animal, you might want a skin tone. So I go to Open Swatch Library. There we go. And then click Skin Tones. And it's going to put it here. So I can go back and forth between my swatches. So now I need to be able to paint this, right? You need to be able to click or type on the letter K. You just type it. And see, now it's all like this. And it brings up my lovely little paint bucket here. So I decide I'm going to make Simba, let's start off with maybe kind of a yellowish color. And I click on him. So now he's kind of this color. And I'm like, nah, not quite yellow enough. So I can make him that color. Okay, that one's maybe a little closer. So I really don't like having all of these blue dots. So what I can do, I can hit Command and hold it down. And then I take my select tool here and I just click on the gray. And now blue dots are gone and it works. So now, as you can see, your paint bucket's right there and it's cool. So say if I want to go and grab some greens. I have all these kind of greens to pick from. Let's see, maybe go with that green. Let's see. As you can see here, this little spot is going to be green. That doesn't mean the rest of it's going to be green. But if I were to go here, everything that is in red would become green. And I don't like that. So if I don't want the green, I could hit Command Z and it undoes it. And you need to watch out because sometimes you might end up, luckily this doesn't seem to be the case, but you might end up where your whole picture ends up being the same color. And that's never fun to look at. So let's see. Say I'm here and I'm clicked on green and I really want to get back to that yellow that I had for Simba. I can actually use my arrow key down at the bottom. It's right underneath Shift. It looks like 4 arrows. And I can actually arrow back to the yellow that I was using and make the rest of him the same color. There we go. And now it all matches. See? And say if I want his paw and fur to maybe be a little bit darker, I can go and click on that. And then make it more that tone. See here, if I do that, it's going to change his outline. And I don't want that. So I try to move around a little bit. There we go. Now I change that toe color. You have to be pretty patient because you don't want to just accidentally change the outline. There we go. Now all of his toes match on that hand. Do the same thing for here because again, I don't want the outline to be that color. I just want to have his toes be that color. Maybe his nose too. So now we have all that. And see, it's still in black. You kind of want to keep the black outline because it's better when you're actually trying to choose a coloring book. It looks more professional. So then I want to go and click for my sun. And I go up here, and I can click on that. So let's see. Actually, he may be looking at the moon. So I can decide that. It's kind of up to me there. So if I decide I want a moon, I can go and click on a moon. And then say, oh wait, I want to go back and do my trees. Again, you can go and click on your arrow button, and it'll click back. And now I'm back to my color for my trees. And then I'm not trying to go and find the same color over and over and over again. There we go. And then I can also use the swatches up here. They're the pretty basic ones. I can do that for my tree branches. And then I have to decide what kind of landscape I want going on here. This is going to be nighttime. Dark blue is going to be it. And then we can say up here could be the rock that he's sitting on. So I might make that gray. And see here, you have this little bit here that looks like it's actually still part of the rock. So you want to make sure you catch any part so that they all match. And you want to try to give it a little bit of texture. So you might color this area brown. And here's another tricky spot where I kind of have to go find the color, not the outline. But then the rest I might want to make more of a sand color. And so I could do like that. And see here, there's one of your connection issues. You're going to have the fact that whatever I do here, this is going to be the same color. So the sky is going to bleed down, or we're going to have this color sand go up. So it's kind of your decision which one you like more. I would probably want to have more of the night color going on. So I do that. And then it just kind of comes down. It looks kind of awkward, but it's not that big of a deal. That's why you want to make sure that you have as many line segments as possible and that each one has their own. There we go. Finish that. Make sure I go back for my gray because I want it to match. Let's see if that's the right one. Nope. Still nope. Let's see, and say, okay, now I really can't figure out which gray it is. I can go over here to my eyedropper tool, click on it, and now I have the gray I want. And I can just click on K again, and it's right back where I want it. There we go. And see here, you want it to match what's out here. So again, I can either go flip back and forth and try to find it, or I can just go back to my eyedropper tool. Either way works. And then click on my K again. Oops, didn't really want that. So Command Z. And then, let's see here. That might actually still be part of the tree. So, see, now it's just going through my options. You can see up here it's matching it. Versus if I go back down here, it would start matching those colors. So, I'm going to use my eyedropper tool, do that, hit K again. There we go. So it looks like all I'm missing is this little tree over here. So we'll get that. And then make sure the sand matches. You just want to be detail oriented no matter what you do. There you go. And then there you go. See, now it's all filled in. Looks pretty. Everything looks great. So then if I want to be able to text or type on here, right? Here's your text tool. They also call it a typing tool, big T. And I would type on here, and see, that's really tiny. So you can go up here and change your font. Change the size. That's a little big. Maybe there. And then I can also make it bold, italic, any of that kind of stuff there. And then my align panel. Let's see. Horizontal line. Paragraph. So when I do that, I can make it where it's centered. And see, it's centered here on the page. It's just not necessarily centered here. So what I can do is go over here, click on my select tool. There we go. And bring it where I want it. So now it looks good. And here, I'm kind of like, that's really, really boring looking still. So I can take my rectangle here. Draw my rectangle. And it's black, and I don't want that, so I can go over here to my layers tool. And put, let's see, path here. Bring it down. And then say if I want it to match the gray here, get the eyedropper tool, make it match. And now it all goes together. You can also play around with the kind of font you want. It's typically Myriad Pro is the one that it goes to automatically. But let's see what else they got on here. A lot of these are boring looking. I prefer something with this kind of a script, maybe. Let's just do chalkboard. There we go. See? Now it looks a little bit more fun. And so when I'm done, two things I want to do. One, file, save. And so it's going to save as Miss G, AI. That's more how you guys are really used to looking at it. It's going to save here to the Lion King. And hit save. And then once I'm 100% done, click OK there. And then I go File, Save As, do Adobe Illustrator, PDF, and then click Save. And then click Save. There we go. And now, say if you want to be able to send me the email, you can go, my mail's been messing up, so I don't know if it's going to work for me right now. But I can typically go into mail and then save it as an attachment and then send it over to me. Now, don't forget, the email you guys have to send it to is hamptonprepav@gmail.com. Okay, guys, hopefully this is good enough. You guys can kind of follow along from here. Again, make sure that you work over here so that you get all of your details back, otherwise it's going to look really bad. And also make sure that if you want to get back to your paint bucket, it's just the letter K. So if you have any more questions, just let me know, but hopefully we can get away with that. Have a good day, guys.